Hi, the internet's out because of the snowstorm, so I thought what a perfect chance to go through what I was thinking of as like the dad net. Because it's all this paperwork my brother sent me in big boxes. I sent a little bit off to this guy called Seraphiel Stevenson, who's evidently a fan of my dad, and I offered some to John Sewell in Nashville, who's also a fan. He published some poems and his zine, and he was he was something. Was he the singer in this cool band called Murder Minority in 1998? And when I was trying to do Food Not Bombs down in Nashville. So he was like this cool, precocious, slightly younger than me kid who, so he has this cool like alternative weekly. It's like poetry, literary, political. It's awesome. So one of these has my dad's poems in it, and so he sent me a couple copies of that. But I've showed the internet that already. So I sent a little bit of the. Oh yeah, that's in a different place. But some of the Illuminati. We're calling it Illuminati research, but it was just basically my dad not emailing, but mailing all these like Masonic lodges to like figure out their shtick, and he weirded them out clearly. I got some death threats, as one does. I think at one point he said no writer worth his salt doesn't get a death threat. So it's like you're not being a good writer if you're not getting threatened. Which is wonderful because 2 nights ago I was told to leave town. And that I don't have enough lawyers to afford what's coming after me. And I'm like, but I don't have money. So, like, who cares? And, like, I won't even afford a lawyer. So this is this big project my dad was working on. When I was a kid, I had to read each chapter as he would write it. And basically but proofread ever so sensitively, because if I questioned his word choice a little too, I just didn't want to walk on his feelings, because he was a sensitive Scorpio, and like me, he was overly sensitive to criticism, and he had kind of eccentric word choice, which I do as well, but I have played it up. Like, I just don't. I'm more just like straight up experimental, and I think he was too. And as he got older, my mom attributed his Nashville manuscript, which Seraphiel wants a copy of. If anybody, could be in my family's attic. I mean, really, there was so much information that had to be liquidated and destroyed. It's a miracle anything survived. Seraphiel helped me get a contact at the Tennessee State Museum, where basically I could FedEx this to Tennessee, have them look at all these like records, see what they would like to keep, whether or not there was any preservation archivist potential. The whole thing is a little bit difficult because of sentimental value, and maybe even clearly with some new stuff going on with like me finally having a niece. None of us wanted to reproduce in my generation, but finally somebody reproduced, and we have a niece, and maybe she wants to read my dad's diary. So let's look at this. This will be fun. These little things, I completely remember them. Dad would carry them around in the 80s. Oh, cool. Poetry. Weather shift. I cried with grateful silver weeping, minted coins of tearful joy. Across my back, sensations leaping, nerves singling or tingling, I don't know, like love's toy. You seared my soul with knowing, eyes igniting me aflame. Later sun sparks turn to snowing, eye circles obscure your name. Oh, I know, this is for Helen. So my poor damn dad was still obsessed with Helen Levering, who was the Quaker who broke his heart so badly. And I don't think, he wrote poems for my mother as well. Prayer. I only hope when living through I've rhymed a pretty phrase or two, that outlasts me a pretty phrase or two or three. 11/23/79. Well, here it is outlasting. We're in 2024, Dad. Oh, I miss him so much. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I just even love the shape of his penmanship. I was at a meeting a week ago, and I was observing these multi-generations, and I was seeing the love of a daughter for a father, and it just really blew me away. It was like I had that Okay, Marshall. What is this? Marital Marshall Alliance. Oh my god. Okay, and I have like a cold apparently, so I haven't had a cold all year, and I'm like, yay for vitamin C. Hearts wedded by war, take arms against impermanence. Man, wife, ignore, exploding shrapnels, deadly dance. Defy the world's cannonading roar, armored by betrothed romance. Sunder on love's shield, life's lethal lance. Okay, what is that? 1490. Who? 15. So these are numbered poems. Who stands aloof as galaxies subside and spits out stars that gutter into black? Who pinches out the moon with pride and grabs the something or hurls it back? Silence is the only answer heard. Okay, so, diagnose. Dad. Okay, 52890. Poem 18. Diagnosis. Insanity is vanity, the narcissistic cry of I. And happiness consists of less analysis and more of trust in him who fashioned us from dust. And so my mom loves that he took a turn towards religion after being like what he called a card carrying atheist in his teens. Okay, what's this? Do not, okay, 81892. Do not give less than your all. Dissemble with the naysayers. Exude no conceit. Your talent is your persistence, stamina, equilibrium, and versatility. Let someone else claim first. What is that? It looks like Priye. Do not share your plans with skeptics. Ooh. So he's being, he liked H.L. Mencken. So he's being clever. He's creating little, my brother thought I was silly to have such a absorption with aphorisms. And he was like, you're a walking fortune cookie. But here's father being a walking fortune cookie. Is that offensive? Okay, 81692. Resolution to achieve. Accept no opposition. Argue with no one. Share no secrets. Help anyone you can. Expect nothing from anyone. Pray to Jesus. Fulfill your dreams. Fulfill all your dreams. Thank everyone you should. Oh, Dad, isn't that sweet? And I do remember now, in that maybe around this time, the early 90s, this is 92, there was a book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And Dad was like, wow, you can make a lot of money just being witty and clever. And maybe he was trying to be a pundit or a guru. It looks like he was. Okay, 112792. Do not succumb to promoted failure at others' hands. Lose not your temper or your reserve. Try to act lovingly regardless of circumstances. Pray for courage. 51293. Never argue. Keep your doors open to various chances. Diversify. Ignore hostility. Oh, okay. 52393. So he would be 53. A bit older than me. 46. Me. Love God, love your work, withhold affection from those who disdain you, but exude cheeriness and civility always. That's very British. Do not offer intimacy to the undeserving. Be secretive with your heart, Scorpio. Okay, 12493, I'm taking it. Ignore hatred, deaf ears to the abusive. Deaf ears to the abusive. Attackers are enfeebled by, it carries on but not there. By, let's see, by your quietude. Ignore deaf ears to the abusive. Attackers are enfeebled by your quietude. Disarm the deadly with pleasure and privacy. Discipline is everything. Okay, 21695. No one's going to stop me. I am a writer and I will die for it. Paradoxically, this will do more for those I love than anything else. Oh, Dad, don't make me cry so hard. But I cannot write if I am not alive, so I have a lot to get done. In the years left, I shall do anything for anyone to keep the writing flame alive. 31095. No negative remarks to anyone. My mom always said about him, he was very fair and he was very good. But I think I have some learning to do from this. Okay. Well, I wasn't planning on crying a bucket. That wasn't the plan. I was just going to breezily go through this horribly big cupboard full of paper. Okay, 127.99. New decision against any person. Personal negativity. Try to be 100% positive. Yes, 127.99. New decision against any personal negativity. 129.99. No response to verbal abuse. Not one. Wonder where verbal abuse was coming from, eh? 100%. No fingers pointing. But my mother was a bit hot-tempered. A bit. Oh, the last laugh. Okay, so this is a, wow, this is, oh, I see. So he's dating them, but he's decided to organize them, wow, in this order. Maybe as if he was planning a book, but he knew his catalog of poems, but he's reorganizing them. And so they're not chronological. But here's 37, the last laugh. Love laughs at life, scorns the scourging whip of years, dulls life's sawing knife, and watersheds its tears. Love smiles at death, soul withstanding soil, heaped upon the flash whose breath expires, love's death full. If anyone knows where George is, please tell me. I'm worried about the weather, and I have not seen him since Monday night. Okay. Love's death's foil. Okay. 35 Hester Prynne. Okay, so this is 10/21/92, and I was reading The Scarlet Letter at that time. And I read it at least twice, maybe 3 times, because it was so absorbing. Hester Prynne, and I believe me and my dad talking about this book are part of why he was writing a poem about it, because it was so impactful. The whiteness of her virtue bleeds red with scarlet sin, her crimson cheeks about you to guilt concealed within, like sapphire set in ivory, on roses wet with snow, one pallid flesh turns fiery, her shame for all to know. Okay. And so for anyone who doesn't know The Scarlet Letter, it's about a very puritanical New England, who was that? Nathaniel Hawthorne. It was puritanical situation where a woman sleeps with a man outside of marriage, so she has to wear an A on her chest all throughout the town to humiliate her for having had sex. And it's about puritanical, what modern people would call whore shaming, etc. But it was just like complete and total hatred of sexuality, or sexuality outside the oppressive confines of marriage. Okay, Song of the Stellar Assassins. Can you hear the blades revolving within the crystal sphere? Hearthen descend, rotate and rend your scalp and half your ear. Can you hear the pilots chorus their extra earthly tongue, the stately hymn, your requiem, the space sprites. You have sung sprites? Okay. Marriage is forever. Okay. Don't make me laugh, Dad. I'll skip that one. Jungian serendipity, fiscal advice. So that's funny. Oh, dear heavens. Oh, dear heavens. Fiscal advice. Every dime. Satan will foreclose you. Fiscal advice. Coming close means nothing. 99% equates to 0 when God tallies up your lifetime's rent. Whoa. So always pay completely, try to be on time, else Satan will foreclose you, eking every dime. That's silly, father. What do you know about money, Dad? Okay. Jungian serendipity. The telephone rings and the voice you hear repeats the thoughts in your brain. Just synchronicity, loud and clear, links you on some ecstatic plane. It's not telepathy mind to mind, but incalculably doubtful odds, defying coincidence like a blind toss of the die by the gambling gods. Okay. Okay. It's like, okay. It's a. This is painful to me because it's about in 1887, weird visitors came from space and kidnapped a Nez Perce medicine man. Departing without a trace upon a dim planet invisible, they surgically opened his brain, then rocketed back to Idaho, releasing him on the plane. And now he's wearing an amulet of silver upon a thong, a cylinder shaped like a rocket ship whose legend survives in a song, a narrative stellar song. Marriage is forever. The voice in the attic clamors. As you ascend the stair, the sound subsides and stammers. Just wind, there's no one there. Old jewelry and dresses, your late wife's finery, her wigs and braided tresses. Your turn, too late, you see. She's coffinless and free. Oh! That's for Linda Bullock, and I don't know who that is. Okay. World Horror Convention, Nashville. A hospitality suite, Hyatt Regency Hotel, 3692. So, yes, my dad was going to horror conventions, whatever the heck that was back in the 90s. Quite a scene going on. Fantasy horror, they called it. For what I could take, it was a bit of literary goths before goths was a thing, or like they liked spooky things. Prehistoric precision. Okay, Stonehenge, wrought of bluestone, each massive megalith, positioned by shamans, date unknown for timing the heavens with. Cheops' awesome pyramid, aligned with compass care, demarking distance, mop-like grid, placed finitely there. Star clocks and calendars, astronomic gauges, immortal instruments, sighting stars for scientists and mages. Okay. Archaeological reverence. The golden chair of opulence seats a stately emperor, enrobed in royal purple, has of lichen moss that shrouds his bones from view, and yet he holds you in his thrall, millennia since he has lived. You bow before his exhumed throne and kiss in fealty his toe of bone. His toe of bone. Shelley! Ah! Dad, I love you. Young Shelley at Eton imbibed the mystique of science romanticized into extremes. He gave his poor tutor a shock and a shriek, electrical jolt, eliciting screams, explosives and fire balloons were his joy, chemicals tainting his fingers and arms, steam engine blew up, another mere toy, mad Shelley continually causing alarm. His tutor named Walker is wholly forgot, blueprint for someone whose name we've all read, Frankenstein's prototype likely to not, mixed up with Shelley in something Mary's head. Oh, in Wife Mary's head. Yes, in Wife Mary's head. Okay, lens of the future. Wow. From 3 power up to 9, telescope stretching towards space, Galileo scanned God's vast design. 30 power soon found its place. Then Jupiter's moons loomed in view. Heresy, Earth wasn't right in the midst of creation. A new insight suffused its bright light. Could man traverse what lay there? Hypothetical voyagers far, ascending the galaxy's stain, ladder like star after star. The moon was the goal to reach. Johannes Kepler briskly argued like Columbus towards Salvador's beach. Incredible speed. Born. Okay. Blood Harvest. Ooh, I think I've heard this one before. No, I don't know. Hay is threshed by the motor blades, hay along with the arms, legs, and heads of the milking maids, dawn on the corridor farms. Farmer misogynist reaps his yield, Satan nurtured the crop. Psychopathology wet the field. Whing, now the motor blade lops. Oh dear heavens. Bareback rider. What is this? Out on the heath, his something, a body in white, riding a giant toad. Who is that woman, luminescently white, spurring her steed on the road? Was country witch whom legends we transformed this man with a spell, cuckolding lover, she made him her mount. Naked she straddled him. Father! Slimy amphibian treads. Reptile crooking along the path, lady equestrian witch, whacking his scaly skin with a lath, hopping each brook and bruttage. See, my mother wouldn't have tolerated that. And Father never would have shared that with us kids when I'm like 14. No. Oh. I'm not blushing, but I should. In vain pursuit, limpid nymph amid the leaves, furtive as the twilight leave, shadow raiments and her limbs, naked as the sunshine dims, mauvish tinted pigments drove twilight on her supple shoe. Dawn the forest trail dog, drawing me with rainy. I'm having trouble with his penmanship and poor light. Some fruit is poison, some is sweet, so rationally you choose to eat. From profit produce hovers by God, Satan in your head. Brittle visitor. Okay, so that's the elect. Select. Subconscious garden yielding all, with reason but a surface wall, above the furrowed field below, where angels, demons till and sow. Stand against the raucous throng of enemies of art and song, battle them with rhyme and wit, and rhythm of true words that fit. Okay, isn't this precious? Okay, I can't wait to put this on the internet if it ever comes back. But, like, when have I had time or energy or focus? Because I'm always busy doing something else. Okay, I sang Edith Piaf at karaoke last night. No, ran. I still can't say it. It's like been freaking 40 years I've been trying to learn, or no, 30 years I've been trying to learn this song. Dear Mom and Pop. So I read these before for the internet, and they were very boring, and nobody wanted to watch that YouTube. And there's this like grandpa's graphic design from San Diego for the newspaper. It's like Art Deco, Hellenistic and Spanish or something, trying to be, whatever that might mean. Okay. I'm not bragging, but this is just bizarro, is it not? Central Intelligence Agency, Mr. Stephen Ang. We are pleased to inform you that processing of your application for a position for the summer months, $31.85 per annum as clerk. This is 1961. Okay. Yeah, so part of why I sent some of the Illuminati research to Sergio was, what if the house burns down? You know, what if I lose my file? It's like, and that's kind of the point of the idea of shipping this all to this Tennessee State Museum is preserve, protect, copy, digitize eventually. And the whole process is like long, and also they may find it not really that intriguing. I don't know. Let's look at this little man. That's what Poppy is looking like. Okay. What is this? Oh, Department of the Air Force. Okay, 1967. Recently I talked with your... Oh, okay, this is a letter to Ransom and Helen. Mr. and Mrs. Ransom, L.A. Recently, I talked with your son, who has just reported for duty with our group. I explained the religious activities available to him and encouraged him to continue his spiritual growth and development while on reserve duty. This is Air Force, Portland International Airport. Whoa. It is my mission as chaplain to provide for the spiritual needs of all personnel. I am vitally interested in the well being of your son and therefore join you in praying for his welfare. I hope his monthly reserve tour will develop his character and promote his advancement at the same time he's contributing to our national security. You can do much to help him adapt successfully to military service and profit from his duty. Encourage regular and punctual attendance at all unit training assemblies each month. Encourage him to be diligent in his private devotions and regular in attendance at worship service. We are delighted to have your son in the 939th. Please feel free to contact us if we can ever be of assistance to you. May God bless you and every member of your family. Sincerely, Robert N. Floyd, Chaplain Captain, U.S. Air Force Reserve. So Dad barely talked about this. I remember him saying that they had a lot of potatoes, so he got a little more filled out because he was typically quite skinny. So, and that it involved drinking coffee. There was a lot of coffee drinking in the Air Force Reserve. Not much more than that. And he discounted it because he was already attuned to the slaughter going on in Vietnam. And this is Grandpa, Cutie Pie. And what's really sad is his little brother's mommy died in childbirth, but the babies survived. She was pregnant with twins and it just killed her when she was like 31. Fanny Walter. So Cutie Pie Little Ransom. See how I learned his smile? Bright-eyed smile. I like his smile. His smile was the best thing he ever taught me. Oh gosh, I need a Kleenex badly. Hold on. One thing about being the eldest that I feel sad about is that because my parents chose to have kids later in life, in their 30s and late 30s. My dad was like 37 and my mom was 34. When they had the very first, which was me, my grandparents were quite aged by the time we got around to knowing them. So I felt that because they died sort of early-ish, they lived a long time, but still I got more benefit of knowing them because I was more alert and mature enough to like remember them so much. My sister wasn't even born when they moved to Nashville and had this big splash where they tried to set up a house and hang out with us, and it was quite devastating when they moved back to DC, but who wouldn't blame them? Who would want to live somewhere as backward as Nashville? At that time. Oh, what is this? This is cool. Wow. Central High School, London, England, announces the graduation of the class of 1958. Wednesday afternoon, June 4th, 3 o'clock, Wigmore Hall, 36 Wigmore Street, London, W1. Ta. Okay. Stephen R. Eng, Central High School. Okay. Yeah. Das ist meine Vater. That's my father. Do you want to see it? It's kind of cute. It has like a little calling card in it. 1958. So like when we were kids, we'd get bullied for having British accents. It was like pseudo-British pronunciation. But furthermore, I think Granny had more of like what we would call a North Atlantic accent that would be closer to like a Katharine Hepburn East Coast kind of mysteriously somewhat British for no reason type of an accent. But it was just like a very old-fashioned type of pronunciation. Whew, I love that. This is one of my favorite little pieces, and the plastic is improper. Now this is more like grandparents' memorabilia, but I love this, and I've put it on the internet. But check it out. It's American Embassy stuff on Her Majesty's service. $40. And it's quite deteriorating, and the plastic is probably eating it alive, which I know this, but my dear sister, my sister I think has some silver or something. Oh, well that's a bit old. Should not even touch. You see, one should not touch this without gloves. I had some cotton gloves. I put them in a free box for the homeless. But okay, check this. California. So Granny was graduating high school in 1926, and that was Helen Stevens, daughter of Dexter Stevens and Ruth Bolsey Stevens. Let's see. She's Ruth. Okay, let me see this. Oh my gosh, why are my eyes so bad? Helen Ruth Stevens. Das ist meine Großmutter. That is my grandmother. Ooh, Lieutenant Commander. And like, what the heck is that? What's a Lieutenant Commander? Anyone can tell me? Okay. What is this? Is this 1946? That's what I thought. Haha. Yeah, Lieutenant Commander R.L. Ang, U.S. Naval Reserve. I think that's what that means. 1727 North Fairfax Drive, Arlington, Virginia. And what is this? U.S. Grant Hotel, San Diego, California. Okay. Dear Ransom. Oh, haha, it's halfway destroyed. We have a friend. Will contact you in the Pentagon. Was this destroyed on purpose? Oh, why? Okay, we have a friend. Something will contact you. Oh, this is the hey BTW. The thinking of a successor to the OSS. He in the Pentagon. Genuine to get away for days. There has arranging for pieces of furniture in the old D10 during the past, the organized reserve. Okay, now the really messed up portion. 1206, 14 December 46. Wife, crypt, have, few, weeks, Bob, maybe Albert or Gilbert, has, in enthusiastic, stop, major, we have a friend, Major, it's like Geo, something. Yeah, I think he just classified this. What did you burn it with acid, Grandpa? But see, what I think is sweet is he abided his security, but he left clues. Yeah, that's so sweet. I love him. He's so cute. Oh, this is cute. This is French. Les écoles de l'âme leur vous donnent un métier. Okay, Ransom L. Ang, 8751 AAU Box 40, Navy 100 FPO. See, okay, here's one thing that I find mystifying, is we were told he was in Japan. That could be disinfo. We have not even been in Japan that much. But it appears, okay, this, oh yes, the République Française. So he was being written to from France. This is like, what, Vichy France or something? Gee whiz. Oh, this is beautiful. Guadeloupe, République Française, Rivière Saint, 8 francs. 19. I'm seeing a 7. I'm seeing 1947. This is post-war. Oh, crikey. I can't see the 4. I'm just feeling that it's there, stuck in the palm trees. Okay. Wait. No, Yavel. Okay, that's where the stamp lines out, where the stamp is supposed to be. And you know, there ain't nothing in it. The envelope is about tattered to pieces. Somebody in France was mailing him. That's all. That's not really that big a deal. In possibly 1947, but he's still being referred to as Navy. Where's that paperclip? quite an old paperclip too. And some of this damage is probably from my family, like trying to keep up with all this and damp, disgusting houses and cats. Ooh, what is this? Well, hey, this is like, hey, come on over. Let's get us some National Security Act going. To put that in Tennessee. Ransom Ludwig Eng. Supposedly his first name was supposed to be Ludwig, but he didn't want to deal with that German sound. It was quite off-putting in World War One when he was a kid. So he's like, don't associate me with that. Ludi, PWA working for children. Well, I'm trying to memorialize my father, but I guess I'm off back to Grandpa. Long before the Social Security Act made WPA projects possible, the need of some means of preventing juvenile delinquency had been recognized by agencies working actively with children in San Diego. In addition to already established methods, a step towards more effective handling of cases was achieved when the City Schools Bureau of Child Reference and the San Diego County Probation Office set up and put into practice a method of jointly working out definite plans for individual children. A project might be said to be a resultant of the following points. 1. Large numbers of juvenile delinquents were known both to city schools and the probation office as being cases which might have avoided contact with the juvenile court because of their offenses had either of these agencies been able to provide counseling facilities which would permit individual attention for these children at an early enough time. 2. Some of the first indications of maladjustment, such as being ungovernable, indifferent in the classroom, and truancy, were often forerunners of later delinquency. A special preventative program in which the emphasis would be placed on remedial instruction and individual attention would make these children better able to meet their own problems. The following illustration is given to show how the project has been organized around these points. In the index file at the project headquarters at 665 Spreckles Theater Building, there is a card for Johnny Blank. On the card of this information, age 9, grade 3, IQ 97, there is no other information except a check after the word truancy. From a previous study of 319 court cases, truancy was found most prevalent at the age of 15, almost negligible at the age of 9. Johnny probably had some good reason in his own opinion for disliking school. From the records, we learned that the visiting teacher first requested special help for the boy. A counselor had been assigned after first consulting the principal of the school. The first step in helping Johnny consisted of gathering information. The probation office had never heard of him, but the visiting teacher knew him well. She described him as a likable little fellow with blue eyes and agreeable manner. The counselor learned from her that his parents seemed quite intelligent and were greatly concerned about his welfare in school. The supervisor of cases discovered that Johnny's parents were SERA clients, and I don't know what that stands for, SERA clients. The classroom teacher told the counselor that Johnny could not read. The principal of the school knew him as a discipline problem. The plan, which is the essential part of every counseling procedure, was worked out by the school principal, the visiting teacher, and the counselor. It consisted simply of teaching Johnny to read. This case was received soon after the project opened. The boy received counseling for the period of 3 months. He learned to read. The printed words on paper were no longer symbols of inadequacy or of fear. Variations on this theme are common in the project files. This quotation from the original project outlines will give another idea of the field of activity. The project has for its purpose the coordination of the work of the various public agencies and private enterprise in San Diego working in the interest of child welfare and for the prevention of juvenile delinquency. Counselors will strive to give children a feeling of security as well as habits of good citizenship. They are also to be helpful in working out individual problems through constructive advice and remedial education. Close cooperation with the agencies dealing with children will be maintained in order to avoid cross-purposes or duplication of work. Statistical workers assigned to the project will gather and record information which, when analyzed, will serve as an index to the special needs of the community. Since the project first opened, a high personnel standard has been maintained. Teaching experience was demanded from the first as a qualification for the position as counselor. Many teachers and the staff are not certified for California, but teaching experience ranges exclusive of practice teaching from 1/2 year to 23 years with an average of 7 years. After the last school term was completed, the project extended its activities to Valley View School, and the county detention home, John H. White, was appointed director of summer activities. The summer program included playground activities, classes in art, shop, regular school classes, and special remedial work. Okay, you're catching the drift, right? I'm really impressed. Good job, Grandpa. So this is like, see, ransoming. Ta. PWA, Working for Children. Organized under SERA by John W. White, the Project for the Prevention of Juvenile Delinquency, long before such made WPA, work PW. Okay. In this junior college as an opportunity, February 1936. So he would have been 37, Grandpa. Okay, I'm going to stop it in the interest of upload difficulty and maybe carry on some more with a second go.